In 2013, someone broke into Yahoo's systems and stayed there for years without anyone noticing. No alarms, no headlines, no panic, just silent access to billions of people's private lives. And the most disturbing part? Yahoo didn't even realize the scale of what had happened until it was too late to control the damage. At first, it looked like a normal day inside Yahoo's headquarters. Servers running, emails flowing, millions of users logging in as usual. Everything seemed fine on the surface. But deep inside the system, something had already changed. Unknown attackers had found a way in, not by crashing systems or triggering obvious alerts, but by quietly slipping through security gaps. Once inside, they didn't rush. They didn't make noise. They simply stayed hidden, observing and collecting information over time. And Yahoo, one of the biggest internet companies in the world at the time, had no idea. Back then, Yahoo wasn't just an email provider. It was the internet for many people. Email, news, finance, messaging, everything lived there. That kind of scale made it powerful, but also made it a massive target. Because where millions of users gather, data becomes more valuable than gold. The breach actually started in stages. Around 2013, attackers gained access. Then again in 2014, more accounts were exposed. But instead of being detected and stopped, the intrusion continued silently. No public warning was issued, no urgent reset for users. Life on the platform continued like nothing was wrong. But behind the scenes, something very serious was unfolding. Hackers were collecting user information on a massive scale. Names, email addresses, phone numbers, birth dates, security questions, hashed passwords, pieces of identity that, when combined, could unlock other parts of people's digital lives. Still, the world kept scrolling, sending emails, and trusting Yahoo without hesitation. Then came the moment everything collapsed. In 2016, during Yahoo's acquisition deal with Verizon, internal investigations forced a public disclosure. What they revealed shocked the entire tech industry. At least 500 million accounts had been compromised. Then later, the number grew again. Eventually, it was confirmed that all 3 billion Yahoo accounts had been affected in some form. 3 billion users. That's not just a hack. That's one of the largest data breaches in human history. And suddenly, the real question wasn't just who did it. It was, how did this go unnoticed for so long? Investigations pointed to highly advanced attackers believed to be state-sponsored groups. These weren't casual hackers. They used stealth techniques designed to avoid detection for years. Their goal wasn't immediate disruption. It was long-term access. And that's what made it so dangerous. Because while everyone was focused on daily internet use, someone else had been quietly watching from inside the system. When the breach became public, the impact was immediate and global. Users realized that their old passwords might no longer be safe. Security questions that once felt private were now exposed. Email accounts tied to banking, social media, and recovery systems suddenly became weak points. And the damage didn't stop at Yahoo. Because people reused passwords, one breach opened doors to many others. At the corporate level, the consequences were brutal. Yahoo's reputation collapsed almost overnight. A company once seen as a pioneer of the internet suddenly became a warning case for negligence and weak security practices. The Verizon acquisition deal was even reduced in value because of the breach. Internally, leadership changed. Security systems were rebuilt. Policies were rewritten. But by then, the damage was already permanent. And for millions of users, the impact was personal. Private messages, forgotten accounts, years of digital history suddenly exposed or vulnerable. People were forced to confront a hard truth. Anything stored online is only as safe as the system protecting it. Afterward, the entire tech industry changed its approach to security. Faster breach detection, stronger encryption, mandatory multi-factor authentication, stricter laws around data disclosure. But none of that erased what had already happened. Because Yahoo's breach wasn't just about hackers breaking in. It was about silence. A silence that lasted years while the damage quietly spread. And that is what makes this case so important. In cybersecurity, the most dangerous threat is not always the attack itself. It is the time you don't know it is happening. For more unbelievable, real-life heists and mysteries, subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay with us.